All right, here we go. Got another project. Didn't buy this one. It's my good buddy Frank's. Yamaha Grizzly 600, I believe. Right now it doesn't have spark, so I told him to take a look at it. And you can see it's filthy. There's mud everywhere. He had this at the off-road park last year, and I don't think he ever cleaned it up. So, yeah. Using the trailer. Go grab it. But just wanted to do a quick video before we get home and take a look at it. All right, like I said in the last clip, somebody's Yamaha 600. It's not getting spark. That's what he says. Changed the coil and plug. Still not getting anything. So we're gonna have to do some troubleshooting. You can see new plug. Don't know they're good, but they're new. So we'll check those. He said he did oil change. And it cranks over the jump back on it. Cranks over pretty good. So you would think it would start. It's got to be just a spark thing. I haven't messed with it yet. But just wanted to do a quick video. Got the plastics over there. Needs tires because they leak out real bad. But I'm going to try and get this fixed up for him. Got a month or so to play with it. He uses this for hauling stuff around his yard. So maybe do a seat cover. Those are cheap. And some plastics. We'll be good to go. But yeah, just want to do a video. All right, back working on this Yamaha 600 Grizzly. We're checking coils because we're not getting spark. Guy I'm working on it for, Frank, he replaced that coil with an aftermarket coil, aftermarket spark plug, because he wasn't getting anything there. So we're assuming that's good. We're checking resistance at the coils that are internal there. It's called a pickup coil and a starter coil, maybe. What you do is you find this plug on, it was tucked right back in there. This is on the left side, what would be the driver's side of the quad. And we have a multimeter set to ohms, so we're checking ohms. So spec for, you could do it through the plug. I was struggling and not getting good readings, so I wanted to confirm. So I stripped some wire. We're checking brown to green wire right now. Spec is 270, 330 ohms. That's 496, 495. So that's out of spec. So we're expecting to replace that. Try and get our spark back. We're then going to check red and white. Make sure the leads don't touch. And it's open. So I'm pretty sure based on that we have a bad pickup coil. Looks like Caltrax sells an assembly. We'll have to take this cover off and replace everything internally because it's open. It's good contact on the wires and the leads aren't touching. So I'm pretty sure that's what the problem is, like 56 bucks for a whole new assembly. So gonna order that because that's cheap. Comes with a new voltage regulator, which is right there. If that all checks out, leaves us the CDI, which is $200 some. It's a lot of money to mess with. But yeah, just want to show you this, diagnosing it. Checking resistance in the coil. Seems to be open circuit, so no good. Gonna replace it. Okay, so the parts came in for this Grizzly 600. New Stator coil. This is the pickup coil. Remember last clip I showed you, we tested red and white here. It was open, there was no reading. Tested green and brown and we were out of spec. So on this one, got hooked up. This is red and white. This is, I think, 474 ohms, which is in spec. And then if you swap them over to if you swap them over, you get, it tests good also, green to brown. So gonna swap this in. Got the lift up. I think all we have to do is pull this shift bracket off, pull the starter, pull start mechanism off, And then these couple bolts here, I'll put an oil tray under because I think it's going to leak out some oil. But we'll do that real quick and try and get this thing running today. Okay, so I took the valve stems out of the tires on this side and put a jack under this side, try and get the oil to run away from this cover. My buddy Frank just put new oil in this, and I don't really want to lose all of it. Might lose a little bit, but oh well. So I think we're going to start by pulling these bolts off the shift brackets right there. And then we'll pull, there's a bolt missing there. We'll pull that one, and that one right there. And we'll have that cover off. That first pull start cover. And we'll go from there. Okay, so I removed all those 8mm bolts. Don't forget the one in there. See, I have it loose. There's one in there. It's not tight. I loosened it, but it's hidden, so you want to make sure you get that. All the way around, they're all 8s, or should all be 8s. Now this is a 17 mil, so I'm gonna do that real quick, and hopefully this doesn't dump a bunch of oil everywhere, because that would be pretty annoying. Okay, like I said, that bolt was a 17. This was kind of jammed on mine, so I had to kind of pry it off real quick. Not, you know, it's in fine shape. The splines are okay, but was kind of stiff. So now I got this whole cover loose. Just gotta keep wiggling it until I get it off. Once we do that, we'll look at the inside where that stator is and go from there. All right, so I got the cover off. My oil trick didn't work. I spilled oil everywhere. So if you're gonna do this, drain the oil. Don't fuck around with it. You can see this gasket is really rigid. Like it's there. I don't know if you saw that. It just falls right apart. The kit I bought from Caltrax comes with a new gasket. So we'll get that all cleaned up. I gotta unplug both those connectors if you haven't already. And then I'll take this over to the workbench or the different area and work on it. And come back, scrape off this gasket. This thing's just falling apart. But pretty easy so far. We'll get it cleaned up. Go from there. Okay, so remove two 5mm hex bolts. One there, so this bracket can come out. Remove two 4mm hex bolts on top of this pickup. And they were very stuck in there. So you're going to want to use Loctite or not Loctite, heat when you take those out. Because they were really stuck in there. We also loosened all 3 of these JIS bolts on the coil. So pull that out. And now this whole assembly should be free. And we should be able to swap this whole setup right here. Grab that. Pull those rubbers out just like that. And set that aside. And now we're just going to do the opposite. We're going to put the new setup right back in. Clear this gasket material off. Got a new gasket that comes with it. And slap it back together. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so we got the new pickup coil and stator coil in. Got the surface for the gasket all cleaned up. Made sure to remove any debris that's down in there. Double check, made sure all the bolts are tight but not stripped. So we got our new rubber gasket part right there for the wires to pass through. So I think next we're going to get our gasket and tack our gasket up on that side. You see how it's got these pins? Oh, actually, I got to clean up this gasket. The gasket left behind here. So I'll double check that surface, make sure that's good. And then we should be able to set the gasket on these pins and not have any trouble. And put this back together. So, all right, gonna work on that. Okay, so this gasket from Caltrax actually fits really, really nice. Sits right on those pins, or those dowels, and should make this super easy. So I'm gonna throw the cover back on. We'll get some bolts in it, and go around, torque all the bolts. And then I guess we'll check for spark, and go from there. So yeah, I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I got that cover back on. The magnet just sucked right up on the shaft. So you have to do a little aligning with this part. Actually, that's gonna go right on too. Make sure that gets in. There you go. There, now that's all the way on. Our gasket looks like it's in position all the way around. So we're gonna throw some bolts in it and check it from there. Okay, so we got that cover back on, everything torqued down. I just did it by hand. Made sure our gasket looks pretty good. Made sure not to rip it or anything. I added some more oil. Just shit I had laying around to make sure we had enough to turn over. Bike's in neutral. You see the light up there. Got the jump back hooked up. So now we should be able to see spark. So I hold that there against that. If I ground that on the engine case, come on, there we go, and hit the starter, we got spark. So that was definitely our problem. So I'm gonna put the spark plug back in, reroute these wires because I had them hooked up on the outside. I'll tuck them back in there. These must have all been bolts for the body, but probably gonna do another oil change on this just because so much leaked out. I want to make sure we have the right levels and stuff. But I'll put that spark plug in. We should have it fire up here pretty quick, and we'll go from there. Okay, jump back on. Key on, neutral. Got the spark plug put back in. This is still the Amazon coil or aftermarket coil. Neutral. Fired right up. Bit of an exhaust leak. See, it does need a little bit more oil. All right, I think I'm done with this. Got it all running. Everything's running good. Put the plastics back on. Made sure all the lights were hooked up. This thing runs awesome. Put new oil in it because I spilled that. So I drained the oil, put fresh oil in. But yeah, send this back to Frank. Pretty simple project. No leaks coming from that gasket. Double check that. So we're good to go. So I think this is the end of this video. If I do anything else with it, I'll make another video. But yeah, how to change the coil. Pick up coil and stator on a 2001 Yamaha Grizzly, I think, 600. So thanks for watching. See you next video.